Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of a building with a main entrance that, by a direct order from God, has to stay shut forever? I know, it sounds like a riddle, right? But it's actually one of the most bizarre and fascinating architectural details in the entire Bible. It's part of a vision that has had people scratching their heads for centuries. I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? It just doesn't make logical sense. You've got this grand, perfect temple described in incredible detail. Courts, chambers, the whole shebang. And yet, there's this one magnificent gate, the Eastern Gate, that is ordered to be permanently sealed. So what's the deal? Let's dig in.
And there it is, straight from the source. The command given to the prophet Ezekiel is crystal clear, and the reason is stated right there, for the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered by it. That one single event changed the gate's status forever. But to really feel the weight of this, you have to understand the world Ezekiel was living in when he got this vision.
Okay, so this whole instruction pops up while Ezekiel is getting a personal tour of this new ideal temple. An angel is literally walking him through the divine blueprint of the perfect place of worship, and then they get to this one specific gate, the one facing east, and it's sealed shut.
Now, here is the absolute key to understanding all of this: the timing. This vision didn't come during some golden age of peace and prosperity. No, it came at the exact opposite moment, a time of total, crushing national crisis.
So look at this timeline. The vision is from 573 BC. You can see right away that's after the first temple in Jerusalem was utterly destroyed. It's smack dab in the middle of the Babylonian exile. The people of Israel are captives in a foreign land. Their most sacred spot on earth is a pile of rubble, and frankly, a lot of them felt like God had just completely walked away.
So you see, this vision wasn't just some architectural drawing. It was a massive statement of hope. Right in the middle of all that despair, Ezekiel is shown a vision of a new, perfect, glorious temple. It's a divine promise that God hasn't forgotten them and that an incredible restoration is on its way. Now, to really get why that gate has to be shut, we need to rewind just a little bit in Ezekiel's vision. We have to see the spectacular event that happened right before, because it's the climax of this whole story.
You see, years before this, Ezekiel had a truly heartbreaking vision. He saw God's divine presence, this brilliant, fiery, indescribable glory, literally get up and leave the old temple because it had been polluted with idolatry. It was the ultimate gut punch, the final sign of judgment.
But now, everything flips. Ezekiel sees that same divine glory coming back. Can you imagine? It's this stunning, beautiful reversal. The very presence that had left in judgment is now returning in mercy, and it's coming from the east, from the direction of the sunrise, a new day. And this is the moment. This is the whole point. The glory of God himself enters through that eastern gate, and the entire visionary temple is just filled with this overwhelming holy presence. God has come back to live with his people, and this time the vision promises he's never going to leave again.
And with that absolutely magnificent entrance, the mystery of the closed gate finally clicks into place. Its purpose suddenly becomes perfectly clear.
So, here's the big reveal. The gate isn't shut to keep people out in some kind of negative way. It's shut as a sign of the highest possible honor. You know, think of it like a historic room where a major treaty was signed. They rope it off, right? You can look, but you can't walk there. That's because the space is preserved. In the same way, this path has been made uniquely, untouchably holy because God himself passed through it. To use it for everyday foot traffic would be to completely disrespect that sacred moment. So let's just break this down. You have the Eastern Gate itself, which is now this sealed path of glory. Its shut status is all about preserving that holiness after God's appearance. But there's this one really fascinating exception, a guy called the Prince. He's allowed to go into the gate's little entry room, the vestibule, to eat a sacred meal, but even he can't pass all the way through. It symbolizes this new kind of respectful, orderly leadership in this restored temple. And you have to understand, this closed gate wasn't just some random one-off rule. It was the exclamation point on a whole new system. This entire temple complex is designed with these layers of separation. You got massive walls, different courts, all to protect what is holy and to make sure the mistakes of the past don't happen again. There are strict rules for priests, clear boundaries, and that shut gate is the ultimate symbol of this new, protected, and holy relationship with God. But the story doesn't end there. Of course it doesn't. This incredibly powerful image of a gate sealed by God himself, it took on a life of its own. It started to find all sorts of profound new meanings throughout history. Okay, so to get how that happened, we need a quick definition of a word:
Typology. It sounds academic, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's a way of reading the Bible where an event or a person or an object, like our gate, is seen as a symbolic foreshadowing of something or someone that comes later, especially in the New Testament.
So, using this lens of typology, early Christian writers started to see all this incredible new meaning in the closed gate. For some, it became this beautiful symbol of Mary's perpetual virginity, that God entered the world through her and that gate remained sacredly shut. For others, it reminded them of Christ's own entry into the Jerusalem temple from the east. It's even seen as a kind of echo in the closed tabernacle you might see in a Catholic church, which veils the sacred presence of the Eucharist.
At its core, Ezekiel's vision of the sealed gate was about drawing a line to protect the sacred. It was this powerful reminder that some things are so holy, they must be preserved and set apart. And, it leaves us with a pretty big question for our own time. In a world of 24/7 access where everything is available all the time, what's the value in setting something apart as sacred? What do we lose when there are no more closed gates?